Uh, After having endured for the 1000th time our abridged response to the question, how did you two meet? See, if you engage a conversation very long with my wife, you will very quickly assess she's not from Des Moines, Iowa. She doesn't have a strong accent, but she clearly has one that would identify her as being something other than a native Iowan. My wife was born and raised...
Nebraska?
Born and raised in Poland.
Oh, Poland, okay.
So they ask, oh, where are you from? It's Poland, okay. And inevitably, a couple short moments go by, well, how did you two meet?
How did you meet, right.
How did you two meet? And we tell the story, and it always gets summarized in about 6 sentences that cover 4 or 5 minutes. I was in Poland on a tour singing barbershop quartet music in 1975, and she was a tour guide. That's where we met. A year later, she came over, and she actually stayed with my parents for 3 months in the summer of '76. And got to travel around the United States with my parents. A year later, she was back in Poland, and I went... I graduated from college, and I borrowed money and took a backpack, and I hitchhiked around.
Because you want to see this girl again.
Well, that was part of the motivation. I was in Paris, and I took a train, actually, to Poland, and ended up staying 6 weeks.
In Poland?
In Poland. And during that time, she got the passport and visas to travel with me to Austria, Switzerland, and France.
Cool.
So we hitchhiked around.
Which was kind of unique at that time.
Yes.
Because Poland was communist. Yeah.
Behind the Iron Curtain.
Right.
That was in the summer of '77. At the end of that summer, we were in Paris. She went back to Poland. I went back to the United States. Another year goes by.
And are you corresponding?
We are corresponding.
Okay.
And she came over in the summer of 1978, and we got married.
Okay.
And 3 days after our honeymoon, she went back to Poland for another year. So my first year of marriage, I lived with 2 guys. And I'm
so
now out of
Moines,
school.
So
yes, I am still. Yeah, I am in Des Moines, and now school is out. I'm teaching, and the day school got out, I got on a plane and went back to Poland, and we loaded up everything that she had in the world and came back by steamship freighter across the Atlantic Ocean. And so the story is about all of those things, those 4.5 and 5 years.
All right, on the other side of the break, because Ryan just gave me the break.
Yes, got it.
All right, we're on the other side of the break, I want to talk about this book and the experience of writing the book and the process of out promoting the book and wherever we go from there. So on the other side of the break, we're going to continue to talk with Tim Pratt. Tim Pratt, you can find him on the web in 2 places, at www.hjnadvisors.com, same place you can find me. Now, you can also find Tim on the web at
www.mylifewithEwa.com.
Okay. And other places you can find Tim, if you're interested in checking this book out, you can Amazon. Local bookstores here in the Des Moines area.
Beaverdale Books.
Okay. And
it is available in Kindle format.
In Kindle, so that's really a cool thing. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue to talk about this, My Life with Ewa, with financial planner Tim Pratt. We'll talk to you on this side. Let's go back to making Usher happy. Talking about my life.
Sure.
My life with Ewa. And Usher is one of the guys that's on Tim's team that's helping him out promote the book. And Usher's in New York.
Usher Morgan in New York City. And I would tell you, I will give him a shout out and a plug only because.
Because you were supposed to.
Well, no, not at all. Actually, when I finished this book, I did this for my wife and kids and for me.
Right.
At the end, all right, I had this book, if you will, and what was I going to do with it? I checked into self-publishing. I wanted to make it available to family and friends,
and the people that had participated in the journey.
Right, and this was not to be the project that it's become, but not wanting to deal with the administrative hassles of what came after. I was the creative force behind the book, if you will. I gave it to my son, who lived in New York, and well, he actually asked me, he said, Dad, there's a fellow that lives in the building that I live in who's a young publisher, and do you mind if I show him the book and I'll ask him what you should do? That's fine. So he showed it to him. About a week later, I got a call from the gentleman and a contract in the mail. He wanted to publish the book.
No kidding.
No kidding. And I took the contract to an attorney here, and she said, well, it looks legit. I would maybe change this and change this. So okay, and I sent it back to him, and he said, that works for me. Okay. Let's do it.
So does Usher have a website? Do you know?
It's librarytalespublishing.com. www.librarytalespublishing.com.
Tales, T-A-L-E-S.
T-A-L-E-S.
Okay.
Usher's in New York City. A young upstart kid that I tell you is the American spirit, the American dream in action. Because Usher, he hammers and he works and he promotes, and Usher is going to be a success.
Okay.
And I couldn't.
So are you kind of following him behind his draft a little bit? And
yeah, I could not have teamed up with a better person to promote my book. I wasn't even going to promote the book, but right. Usher saw something in it and thinks that collectively we can promote this thing and he can make some money at it. So more power to him.
Right.
I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and that's finish it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the story is out there. Mm-hmm. And the fact that there are people that actually seem to enjoy it and like it, that's very gratifying. But to me, it was getting it done.
That's cool, Tim. So, where do you want this book to go?
Oh.
I mean, you said you've gotten it done.
Right.
Is this story got? I mean, because clearly you've written, and from everybody that I've talked to and the pieces that I've read, it's funny. It's a love story, so that gets that gets ladies intrigued, and it's a tale that isn't. You know, it's not normal.
It's not War and Peace. It's
right.
about 150 pages. It is simply our story. Mm-hmm. It's dedicated to my wife, and as you read the book, you'll find out she's a unique individual, and love her dearly. Been married for 32 years.
32 years. In a row.
No
breaks in coverage.
Well, but I didn't. But unlike a lot of people, we've only lived together for 31. Because,
31, yeah.
We went kind of backwards in that.
So Tim's got a blog that's on mylifewithewa.com. You got, and it's really not a blog, guys. I mean, Tim writes like 2 sentences once a month. But right. I read it for September, and I kind of got a giggle. Will you tell that? Will you tell that the big decisions?
Well, yeah. It's when we got married, we decided that. I would get to make all of the really big decisions in our marriage. And
the big ones.
The big ones. And
right.
she got to make all of the little ones.
Right.
And 32 years later, I'm still waiting for that big one.
For a big decision. There's nothing. You have no decision making on your resume whatsoever.
None. No. Kids, house, job. No.
Nothing.
No.
Not at all.
So I'm just kind of waiting, and that's how you stay married for 32 years.
32 years. Yeah.
And those of the people that know Eva will know that that's not too far from the truth.
Not
there.
too far
Yeah.
from the truth.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right, we don't have much time left.
Sure.
We're going to wrap up with this because our show's up against it. Aren't we up against it, Ryan? Okay. Can you give me in 60 seconds 2 things? Number 1, why people should read your book, and number 2, what was your favorite part of the book? I know I'm giving you 60 seconds to talk about
They
anything.
should only, read the book if they want just I think just an interesting, fun read that's kind of a diversion in their day. It's right. Not, as I said, it's not War and Peace, but I think they would enjoy it. I hope they would enjoy it. And my favorite part is, and I'm going to cop out here, is that, and I mean this in all sincerity, I have a wonderful wife. She's a tremendous, tremendous lady, and this is an opportunity to share some of that, more for my kids and legacy and whatever happens later on. So the best part is I'm writing about someone I really care about. So that's kind of neat.
That's cool. Tim, will you come back?
Well, sure.
All right, cool. Guys, the show you've been listening to is Your Money, Your Future. Yeah, you know what? We didn't get into markets today. We didn't talk about taxes. We didn't talk about estate planning. We didn't do any of that stuff. But I think the real content in today's show was in defining a goal, figuring out what it is that you're after, and coming up with a systematic way to go about achieving those goals. And that's from Tim Pratt, Certified Financial Planner. Guy's been involved in a lot of stuff, but it's also what's really cool. It's the theme of our show. And we're excited to be a part of your life. We're humbled to be here. And you know what? If you know Oprah, do me a favor. Get this viral so that somebody will get Tim's book on the big show. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week, and stick around the platform. We're excited to be here, and we're growing. We'll talk to you soon.